Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's Explainer. We're breaking down what is arguably the single biggest set of AI updates any company has dropped in a 24-hour window. If you're a tech executive, a CTO, or a product leader tuning in, listen up. What we're looking at today isn't just some list of flashy consumer features. No, this is a fundamental paradigm shift in how we actually build, deploy, and scale software. $190 billion. That's Google's estimated CapEx spend this year alone. To put that into perspective, that is a massive, massive number. And why does it matter to you? Because the pattern here is totally unmistakable. They aren't just bolting on AI features anymore. They're fundamentally rebuilding every single product they own, Search, Workspace, Android, Chrome, with AI running directly underneath the whole shebang. As an executive, this kind of massive investment is your absolute mandate to pay attention right now, because the underlying infrastructure of the digital world is literally being rewired as we speak.
So, here's our agenda for the briefing. We're cutting straight through the noise to focus strictly on ROI, workflow, and deployment. We'll hit 5 key areas today: the new AI paradigm, autonomous software dev, transforming UI design, enterprise productivity, and finally, AI economics and security.
Starting with Section 1, the new AI paradigm, from prediction to reality. You know, this technology is fundamentally changing what we can achieve at scale. AI is moving from predicting text to simulating reality. That quote right there captures the absolute macro shift redefining our entire industry today. We're way past just asking an AI to guess the next word in a paragraph. We're now asking it to truly understand the physical and scientific world, and to synthesize insanely complex outputs based on that deep understanding. So, the crucial point is how this actually plays out in practice, right? Take a look at a model like Gemini Omni. This thing synthesizes text, video, and audio to build scientifically accurate outputs from a single simple prompt. In one test, a one-sentence prompt asking for a claymation video of protein folding resulted in a fully finished, highly accurate output where the visuals perfectly match the real-time narration. But here's the real kicker. No voiceover script was uploaded. There were 0 scientific research papers attached. It just natively understood the subject matter and built it perfectly. I mean, think about what that level of automated, accurate synthesis is going to mean for your own internal workflows.
Moving on to Section 2, autonomous software development, engineering at scale.
Now, I really want to speak directly to the CTOs and VPs of engineering for a second, because we are looking at a foundational change in how your code gets written. Let's walk through the workflow of Google's new desktop application, Antigravity 2.0. This is a platform where multiple AI agents work in parallel right on your machine. In a live environment, someone just gave it a plain text prompt to build a cyber-themed Chrome Dino game that plays itself, and within seconds, the agent processed the text, planned the build and visuals, and autonomously wrote and executed the code. When the game initially failed to load in the browser, the user literally just said, "Hey, it's not working." The agent auto-detected the error, investigated different approaches, and fixed the whole thing completely on its own. It even noticed its own AI player crashing in the game and updated the obstacle detection logic without a single line of manual coding. It's just a completely autonomous loop. Wild, right?
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is this new term you're definitely going to want to take back to your engineering teams: vibe coding. Using Google's Flow tools, developers and creators can build software just by describing it in plain English instead of writing actual syntax. You just describe a custom tool you need, maybe it's a specific video resizer or a visual effects generator, and the Flow agent builds the entire working application right there inside the editor. We're talking about drastically lowering the barrier to entry for creating custom internal tooling across your whole organization.
Let's jump to Section 3, transforming UI design, closing the loop. Let's shift our focus over to product leads and design teams. Just think for a second about how much time, capital, and fidelity gets lost in fragmented design-to-code pipelines today. Well, enter the new massive upgrades to Stitch, which is Google's AI-powered UI design product. We are finally moving away from static mockups. Stitch now features streaming real-time renders, so you can actually see the work happening and steer the AI before it even finishes generating. You can import an existing Figma file or just jump right in by importing your existing code base. It allows in-place AI edits, which means you can tweak a single UI element without regenerating the entire layout. And honestly, this is huge. It supports HTML native motion, letting you build real, working animations directly into your prototypes.
So let's contrast the old way with this new paradigm. Historically, we've had these fragmented design tools sitting completely siloed off from the actual front-end code. But with Stitch's new capabilities, you can import and sync your entire code base directly inside the design environment. You're working on the visual design and the underlying code in one single place simultaneously. For founders and product teams, this is literally the closest any tool has ever come to effectively handling the full loop in a single unified workflow.
Section 4 up next, Enterprise Productivity, Agents as Workforce.
We absolutely need to move past the era of thinking AI is just a chatbot that answers our questions. It's now an asynchronous workforce executing complex tasks. And this brilliantly illustrates a day in the life of that workforce, doing real work on your behalf. Imagine this daily timeline. First thing in the morning, the daily brief agent automatically combs through your apps, prioritizes your urgent emails, and delivers a highly structured summary. By midday, an agent like Palmelli can take your product docs, generate your business DNA, create a full brand book, and set up a fully working website in just a few clicks. Stuff that used to take multiple subscriptions and entire teams. And ongoing, right in the background, Gemini Spark is natively integrated into your workspace tools, monitoring inboxes for critical deadlines, or even auditing credit card statements for hidden subscription fees. I mean, that is true operational leverage.
Finally, Section 5, AI Economics and Security, Deploying at Scale.
Let's move to and see how this builds into the absolute bottom line here: costs, deployment speed, and mitigating enterprise risk. Because let's face it, none of this matters if it isn't secure and cost-effective. Look at this comparison between the new Gemini 3.5 Flash model and the previous flagship 3.1 Pro. Flash is a staggering 4 times faster on output tokens per second, and crucially, it costs roughly a third to half of what 3.1 Pro cost. Google is definitely releasing a larger reasoning model later, but for anyone building with AI today, 3.5 Flash is the new default. It completely, fundamentally changes the unit economics of deploying AI agents across your enterprise.
But what about security and trust? It's a huge question, right? As generative AI gets better, the enterprise risk of unverified content scales right up with it. Google is tackling this head-on with SynthID, which is an invisible watermarking technology. And just to give you a sense of scale here, SynthID has already watermarked 100 billion media files since it launched. 100 billion! They're also rolling out widespread content credentials verification to clearly show if a piece of media was created by an AI or a camera. And, to make sure this works across the whole industry, major partners like OpenAI and NVIDIA have officially adopted SynthID. That is exactly the kind of massive-scale risk mitigation that executives need to see.
So I'll leave you with this single, pressing, strategic question. Are your development pipelines ready for autonomous agents? I really want you to take that mandate and think it over. This technology has officially shifted from a cool consumer novelty to a fundamental enterprise infrastructure requirement. It's faster, it's significantly cheaper, and it's fully capable of autonomous execution, from code generation right down to UI design. The question isn't if AI is going to reshape your software lifecycle anymore, but how quickly you'll adapt to lead the charge. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Take this knowledge back to your teams, and I'll catch you next time.